bet Hawk's still here, just trapped somewhere.
Yeah, that's where my money's at.
Right, we're like, oh, that's suspicious. Supposedly he left. Interesting.
So actually, we have to make a decision. What do we do first?
Yeah, sure do.
Oh, God.
You bunch of gooses, what do you want to do?
Or we split up, but I don't like the idea of doing
Oh,
that.
no, I hate that.
No.
Never split the party.
I think my first feeling is to find Hawk, because I think once we get into the thing searching for my brother's tomb and get into that, we're gonna start shit.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start shit no matter what we do.
Yeah, but we might be able to start it later if we do. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I
think
feel like
sneaky...
if we go poking around the entire place looking for somebody, we'll raise less suspicion than if we just go down straight to the crypt.
Well, the crypt is like people in it.
That is true. There were people, according to Tom Rainier, there are people going in and out of the crypt all the time.
And covered in blood.
So I feel like of the two, one of them is like a guaranteed we're gonna have to start shit. Like, we're gonna have to start shit eventually, but don't we want to do that last?
Yeah, if we could find clues around somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Hawk knows something about what's going on.
Okay, so how do we suggest that we find him?
Cat barks.
I turned a cat, yeah.
Right.
Fenris told me that this dog, Cat, can find Hawk. Can you find Hawk, buddy? Come on, you can do it. Find Hawk for us.
Cat barks and he gets really excited. And he splays his paws out in the play position, and then he takes off in a skittering run.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I follow Cat.
Okay.
I guess I follow Cat, too.
Mayveris is like, oh, well, this is going to be an adventure, my dears.
Yep.
Oh, God. Ellie and I are good at being sneaky, but Cassandra is not.
Yep.
Mayveris isn't great at it either.
Oh, God.
But at least Mayveris is physically small.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. She was trained to blow shit up and is also, like, a billion feet tall, so...
He's gone full bloodhound. His nose is pressed flat to the stone. He's just sniffing his way all around the fortress. And you definitely get a couple sideways looks as you're passing, because there are regular patrols going every which way. And most of them assume that, you have intent in your eyes. So most of them assume, oh, well, you just have somewhere to be, maybe. You're here on a mission from the First Warden. But the more people you pass, the more suspect it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And it is getting to the point where you're starting to wonder, maybe Cat is just going in circles. Maybe Cat doesn't actually know what the fuck Cat's doing. Until suddenly Cat sits down outside a rather nondescript door. It looks unlocked.
Are there guards or people around us?
Nope. There are a couple, far, far down in the hall, but there aren't.
Okay. I'm just gonna straight up open the door.
It's an armory. Full of Grey Warden armor.
Interesting. No people, just literally just weapons.
Weapons and armor. Cat barks.
There might be a secret door. I think I usher everybody into the room.
We should check for magical traps.
Yeah.
We should? I don't know how to do that.
I know you don't. That's why I said it.
Okay, do you want to roll?
Sure, let's do a roll!
A roll!
An 8 and a 16. Neither of you see anything. Nope.
Cat, is there a secret door?
Cat tilts his head at you.
Point to the secret door, Cat.
I don't think that's something that he can do.
Should we put on armor?
Cat barks.
Oh no, this is a really smart dog. Oh god, because we want to blend in with the... Oh god, I'm so dumb. I'm as dumb as... Fenris was right!
This dog is smarter than you, Sabre.
Oh god! Dog is smarter than me, Amber. Oh god. I'm staring in dawning horror, and I'm like, well, shit. And I go and start putting on some armor.
Cat's tail wags.
There any armor that's gonna fit me? Just real quick question.
That's a great question. So, Cassandra, you go looking through the armor racks, and the biggest armor that they have is probably human-sized armor, because they traditionally the Grey Wardens only recruit humans, elves, and dwarves. Because where the fuck are the Grey Wardens going to recruit a Kunari?
Right? Why?
A blight has never hit Parvalin, and the Kunari are so rare in the south of Thedas anyway. And I don't even know. Maybe we should roll for it.
Oh, that's
funny.
A 12. That's pretty good. So you find... Okay, so this particular set of armor was made with a very tall human man in mind.
Mhm.
So, question, are the sleeves long enough? Are the trousers long enough? Answer, yes. Question, are they tailored correctly? Answer, absolutely not.
No.
They are shapeless on you. And it's anyone who looks at you for more than a couple of minutes will be like, what the fuck is wrong with your armor? And also, the wardens don't recruit Kunari, so like, what are you doing here anyway?
Exactly. The horns give it away, the height, yeah.
Just maybe like stoop.
I just like sort of stare at somebody like, stoop?
Yeah, round your. I just roll my eyes.
Because the height is the only thing that gives it away.
Right, not the horns.
Maeveris very reluctantly changes out of her 18 coats. But she does look very fetching in blue and silver warden armor. They've got plenty of robes because the wardens do recruit mages.
I'm definitely like looking at her out of the corner of my eye like,
She flips her hair like, well, I don't usually do this particular shade of blue, but it'll work fine. And she holsters her staff over her back and she says, oh, I feel so official. Which is good because she doesn't sound official.
Oh god. I'm just staring around at like the motley crew. Oh god. And I probably look like filthy in like this like if it's like official armor. How does Elian look?
Elian's a human, and so it's
Probably the
fine.
most normal of all of you.
Really should have thought of this whole armor thing. Ugh. I sort of like...
It's okay. Cat will think for you.
Maeveris is like, this is a very smart dog. And she like pats Cat on the head. And Cat barks and licks her hand.
I like turn back to Cat and I'm like, okay, Cat, are we appropriately dressed for you?
Cat barks.
I'm like, lead the way.
Cat trots back out the door.
Oh god. I follow Cat.
So Cat goes back to sniffing around, and yeah, it is a lot easier to get past the rows and rows of armed guards when you are dressed like a Grey Warden. Although there are a couple, like there's substantially less people giving you sidelong glances. But that said, there are still people giving you sidelong glances specifically because of Cassandra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there are also a couple people that just don't recognize you, and that seems to take them a little bit off guard. But they see you and they like narrow their eyes a little bit, and then they incline their heads.
I think my surliness is going to come in handy. I do the same thing back.
So Cat leads you deeper and deeper into Weishaupt Fortress, and he stops a couple times, and then he like doubles back a few more times. Eventually, he gets more and more frantic the deeper he gets into the castle, and there are fewer guards the deeper you go, which seems a little bit strange, but the longer you look at Weishaupt Fortress, like, there is, like, he's obviously leading you to the dungeons. And you would assume the dungeons would be very well guarded. But the Weishaupt Fortress dungeons appear less like a traditional jail and more like oubliettes.
Oh boy.
Just holes where you shove someone and there's a huge door that there's with one little slat that you can put food through sometimes, maybe.
Oh god.
If you remember to feed the prisoners.
But yeah, by the time you get down to the long jail, Cat is absolutely frantic, and he heads right up to the third door on the main hallway, and he starts like frantically scratching at the base of the door and barking frantically.
Excellent. Okay. Is there anybody else around?
Nope. Like I said, they're oubliettes, not true prisons.
Okay. I don't know how we're going to get that door open.
I have lock picking.
It is going to be a very difficult roll.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that without even trying,
Yeah,
Ellie.
right.
Like, this door is meant to be opened maybe once every 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and, before anybody tries anything, be like, Sir Hawk, are you there?
Cat barks frantically, but you're speaking very quietly, and it's a very large, thick metal door, so you don't hear anything.
I think I try to shush Cat. I'm like, yes, we know. We figured it out. Thanks.
Cat whines plaintively.
Okay, well, don't draw attention to us, okay?
This is what you wanted Cat to do. You told him to find Hawk, and
he
now...
did a great job, and now, please be quiet.
I scratch Cat's ears to reassure him.
Cat whines and sits down and lets you figure it out. So like I said, it is going to be extremely difficult to pick this lock.
Okay, wait,
Right.
let's talk about what the backup option is if this doesn't work.
I'm gonna say before that the target number.
There we go.
The target number of this roll is going to be 18.
Okay, that's quite high, yeah.
It is going to take an act of lock-picking prowess,
Yeah.
hitherto unseen in this world.
Elian does have insane stats, but we also need a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The door is super thick looking, so bashing it through probably not an option.
Bethera says it is made of metal. If we get something hot enough, we could brute force it.
I look at Cassandra. Is that a thing you can do?
I do have fire magic, yes.
Okay, so that's an option. Because I think the third option, which is to find a key, is probably not going to happen. Like, there's nobody around. Where would we even go?
Bethera says, I suppose we could maybe try to pickpocket a guard if it absolutely has to be done.
Yeah, that's probably going to be Elian again. I don't think any of that is my thing.
Or somebody who's very charming.
You're going to have Elian seduce a guard into giving us a key?
I sort of like raise my eyebrow. I'm like, no, I was thinking more of Mayveris.
Mayveris says, oh, me? Oh, I don't know if I'm any good at seduction. I could give it a whirl, I suppose.
Charm more than seduction, probably.
I just like stare at Mayveris and I was like, but you look great though.
She like fans herself like, oh, so charming.
Like, it just does not occur to her, like, but I mean, look how hot. I don't understand how this wouldn't work.
You are the most beautiful woman on the planet. How could you not seduce anyone you wanted?
It's like, I'm just like looking around like, I'm not wrong. Like,
Okay, well, let's try options 1 and 2 first.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll lockpicking.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Womp womp.
So you crouch down in front of the door. You unfurl your lockpicking equipment, and you're at it. You're really intent for like a good 2.5 minutes, and then you hear something snap, and it's not the good kind of snap.
Shit.
And you
Oh,
pull your
God.
lockpick out, and it's busted. So until you are able to replace it, you cannot lockpick.
Excellent. Fuck.
I look at Ellie and I'm like, well, that didn't work.
Gee, you think?
Do you want to try the fire thing?
I suppose. Yeah, you might want to back up, give some space.
I backed the fuck up.
Let's roll this thing.
Your target number is for Flame Blast what?
Target number is 12.
Okay. I'll measure this by how far you exceed the target number. Okay. So you exceeded it by 2. So here's what happens. Cassandra steps forward, she lights up both hands with fire, and she presses the fire forward into where the lock is that Elian had just unsuccessfully tried to pick. And she keeps it up for as long as she can, and you can see the metal starting to glow and warp. And like maintaining it for this long is not how the spell is supposed to work, so you're actually going to drain double the mana points doing this.
Okay.
But eventually, she sort of staggers back and she can't maintain focus anymore. And the door doesn't like swing open, hooray! But there is a huge glowing weak spot right where the lock is.
Oh, I know how to solve this.
Mayveris is like, okay, well, it's going to make a lot of noise if we just try to bash it, but I suppose we could give it a shot. It's. What do you think?
Would we be able to muffle it with anything?
Mayveris looks horrified down at the coat she is still carrying over her.
I like motion at her, like hand it over.
It's designer!
It's fine. It's useful for once in its life.
We do need it, Mayveris.
She sort of deflates and she says, fine, but you're buying me a new one, Sabre. And she hands you the coat.
I don't have money. I wrap my spear and
You
like,
have been getting a weekly stipend since you joined the Lucerne.
have I?
Yes, we've been putting it into the account we set up for
Sabre,
you.
honest to God, did not know this.
You have an account set up for me?
Like,
Man, Elian could have been stealing his money and he wouldn't have known?
things have been very hectic. Anyways, I wrap the butt of my spear. I guess not the butt. I guess I want to do the. Oh, this coat is gonna be ruined. Oh man, oh well.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's already a little bit catching fire because the metal is still extremely hot.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
I'm just gonna wrap my spear in it then, and I'm just gonna like punch it.
Go ahead and roll Strength Might.
Okay. Oh.
Oh.
That's a bad fucking roll.
You got a stunt point. Can you do anything with the stunt point?
Ooh, that's right, stun point.
You can move yourself or the target of your attack 2 yards in any direction for 1 stun point you spend.
That's that's a creative use of the
Right?
stunt.
I mean, yes.
You know what? I'll take it.
Yes!
I'll take it.
Amazing.
So here's how this works. Like, with the first, you ram your spear into it the first time, and Maevaris makes this sound like, it's Designer, you monster! And that kind of throws you off your game a little bit. You're like, May, chill. And then you try it again, and then with a mighty crack, the door swings open. And light goes flooding into this. It's definitely a prison. It's so dark that it takes your eyes a minute to adjust. When eventually they do, you see a slumped figure, shackled to one of the walls. He is a human. He has shaggy black hair and a beard that's gotten just a little bit too long. Cat is the first one who goes racing in, and he starts looking frantically at this man's face, which seems to finally, get him out of this stupor. And he sort of blinks his eyes hard, squinting against light that he's clearly not seen in ages. And he looks at Cat first. He says, "All right, now I must be dreaming."
You're not.
I step into the room and I say, Fenris sends his greetings.
He squints up at you, and then he looks at May, and then Elian, and then Cassandra. He says, "See, normally when I have these dreams, it's just me and Fenris. Sometimes my mother is also there, silently judging me in the corner.
Oh.
Also, the Cerebas is a nice touch. Are you supposed to be a metaphor for my self-loathing?"
We promise you it's not a dream.
This is a lot of personal information to reveal to strangers.
He says, "It's a gift, what can I say?" And when you actually get close to him, you notice that his eyes are sort of foggy, almost, like you can't immediately tell why. And anyone who cares to can roll Cunning Poison Lore.
I will do that. Where is my poison lore bonus?
May will roll. She's got a +2. So you are the first to notice that he's clearly under the effect of some sort of poison spray, and then you sort of call Elian over because he's a poison boy. He knows more about poisons than you do. And May joins you at your side, and Elian, you're peeling back his eyelids a little bit, trying to get the measure of it. And May is actually the first to recognize it, and she puts a hand over her chest and she says, "Oh, they've been dosing him with Magebane." Magebane is a herb that, when distilled in the correct way, completely drains a mage of their mana.
Oh boy.
Oof.
In small doses, it's just sort of disorienting, but clearly they've been dosing him for a really, really long time.
I mean, he's been missing for 3 years. We'd presume 3 years.
Yep. And it is... Elian, what you know about Magebane is, if you give a mage Magebane for too long, it can and will kill them. Mages are not supposed to have no mana for this long.
Eesh. Don't like that.
And May's like, "Oh, goodness. I might be able to do something, hopefully. Luckily for you, you brought the healer."
The healer,
Yay!
exactly. I was like, smart choice. I'm like,
She says, "Well, poisons are not my forte. Generally..." "Wait, Cassandra!" She turns to you. The kerchief!"
Oh, yeah.
yes. It's tied around my wrist. I'm like, I untie it and hand it to her.
She takes it and she presses it to her palm and infuses it with a little bit of healing magic. And she says, "Can you hear me, Hawk?" And Hawk sort of blinks at her blearily. He says, I'm flattered, but I'm very gay." She says, that wasn't the question that I asked, but okay. She presses the kerchief to his forehead and she activates it. And over the course of a couple seconds, his eyes slowly clear and he starts blinking up at all of you. He says, "Oh, so I wasn't dreaming him. This is awkward now. Pretty sure I just told you about my weird sex dreams with Fenris.
You
involving
did.
my mother in the corner." Yeah.
We'll pretend we didn't hear it.
Let me be the first to acknowledge that was weird. Apologies. What are you all doing here? I feel like I should go there for the next point.
That's a longer story, but one of the things is finding you, so we did that.
"Good job so far," he says, pulling demonstrably at his wrists, and the shackles clatter loudly.
Yeah.
How does violence sound? I have my spear.
The options are spear or magic.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Can you melt them off?
Hawk says, "Wait, And he looks down at himself. He's like, "You got rid of the Mage Bane. I think I can fucking melt them off." And then abruptly, his hands are consumed by bright red-orange fire.
Oh, Jesus.
And with this tremendous exertion of force, he rips his arms forward and the shackles dissolve like molten lava at his feet. And he stumbles forward a little bit and has to catch himself on Ellie and says, "Whoa, man, it feels good to do magic again. It has been a long time."
I look down at the designer coat and I say, "Well, I guess we don't need this anymore," and I throw it back at her.
Oh no! I pat her. I'm like, "Sorry, we needed it."
I think I turn back to Hawk and I say, "We have business to discuss later, but for now we need to get out of here. Oh, we should have brought an extra pair of fucking armor."
He says, "Yes, I am a little bit conspicuous, aren't I?" He is currently dressed in like these bedraggled. It's like obviously they haven't given him a proper change of clothes in the 3 years.
How far are we away from the armory? Can we make our way back there?
Quite a distance, and people are going to notice Hawk.
Oh, they sure are going to notice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're in the basements though, right? We're in like the dungeon.
You are in the dungeon, yes. You are not in the lowest part of the castle, but it's pretty close to the lowest part of the castle.
So maybe we should just try to head straight for there. I turn back to look at the group, and I'm like, he's going to be conspicuous as hell.
Mayfair says, "And I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but Hawk here is quite famous." And Hawk says, "I'm really not, I promise."
Also true.
I say we press on.
She says, "Maybe a good place to store him would be that little holding room where they put us originally. At least until our business here is concluded."
I mean, with Cat there to guard him, maybe?
Cat barks.
Good boy.
And Hawk, by the way, finally notices the dog. He's like, "Oh man, I can't believe you brought Cat here." And he like crouches down and he rubs Cat's ears, and Cat looks so fucking happy. Cat is licking his face and putting his paws on his shoulders, jumping up and giving him a big old dog hug. He says, "I will literally do whatever you want me to. You brought me my dog."
Is your dog?
"Of course, he's my dog." He's like ruffling his ears. "Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy." Rolling him on his back, rubbing his belly. This is the best day he's had in literally 3 years.
Oh.
Right. Sorry we couldn't bring your boyfriend to you.
When he hears that, he looks up, he says, "Fenris sent you."
After fashion.
He is silent for a minute, and then he grins, and he's like, "I knew that prickly bastard cared about me."
Enough to threaten Sabre, yes.
"Oh, that's just par for the course with Fenris. He threatens everyone. You're not special."
I like shrug my shoulders. That's actually kind of reassuring.
He still threatens me sometimes.
I'm still wary around him though. So if we're gonna send him back to the holding place, we need to pump him for some information now.
You need to pump him for some
Yeah,
information.
exactly.
We do, but we as a group do too. So I turn back to him and I say, "We have personal business to discuss, you and I. But before we get to that, why are you imprisoned?"
He says, "Well, because I am incapable of keeping my nose out of other people's business, unfortunately."
That sounds about right.
"I came up to Weishaupt Fortress to give them news about what happened at Adamant, on the orders of the Inquisitor. When I got up here, they did not take very kindly to my insistence that perhaps the Order should reform. I got into a bit of a spat with the First Warden, and long story short, within about 3 months I was thrown down into this oubliette. And they've been draining me of my blood ever since to keep up some prison system. It's a very long story. My father helped the Wardens once upon a time. I can give you all the gory details if you really insist at a later date. But suffice it to say, my blood, the blood of anyone in my family line, is necessary to keep up certain wards that the Grey Wardens have set up."
Ah.
Interesting.
Ugh.
Is that possibly why we've heard rumors that, what's it called, the Heroes Crypt?
Heroes Rest.
The Heroes' Rest, you mean where they keep the heroes of the previous blights?
Yes. Apparently there's been wardens going in and out and coming out with fresh blood on them.
He shakes his head and he says, "I am not sure what's been going on. Like I said, I was only around Weishaupt proper for about 3 months before they threw me down here and started regularly draining me of my blood." He lifts his arm and actually, yeah, you can see there's a badly healed wound right over his brachial artery on his upper arm. That they've been regularly tapping into, apparently.
Well, good news. We have the Inquisitor with us.
I suppose that is good news. So long as he's not, alone. Because there is something fishy going on with the Grey Wardens. I understand that the Wardens will do whatever it takes to end a blight, but if they've been taking my blood, it can only be to perform blood rituals.
Oh god. Is Landon in trouble? Ugh.
We did leave him alone.
Not alone.
He's with Tom.
He says, that's good, and I know that the Inquisitor is a very capable mage on his own right as well. Still, I wouldn't trust to luck. I've run out of it long ago.
We still have to go. We need to go to the Hero's Rest first, though, and figure out what the hell's going on. Before we go storming up to save Lannon.
He says, do you want me to accompany you? He says, I admit I'm not really in much fighting form, but I want to help if I can.
I feel like it might be easier to just fight our way down into the crypt with him than to try to take him back to the holding room, hope that nobody goes back there looking for us.
Yeah.
I also think that by the time we get back there, they're gonna have seen him in the hallway, and we're gonna have to ask a lot more questions. Sabre turns back to him. I'd rather keep you close. As I said, we have personal matters to discuss.
He says, you brought me my dog. You can ask me anything you want. Like, right now, all of you, like, Hawk greatly approves.
Right? Exactly.
You freed him from an oubliette. You brought him his dog. He will do whatever you want him to do. You're starting to realize, like, everything you've heard about Levon Hawk over the past couple of days has been that he has a very infectious personality, and you're starting to get that now. Mm. It's really hard to not like Hawk.
So I turned to look at the group. Are we in agreement that Hawk should join us?
He's not in the best fighting condition, but yes, probably.
He says, don't get me wrong, it's great to have my magic back. And he lights up his hands again. I'll help you as I can, although I don't think I'll be too much help. Also, the dog will probably be helpful.
Yeah.
Cat barks.
Also, Cat is very happy to have him back.
Oh, he's a good dog. He pets Cat again, and Cat just soaks it up.
I'm gonna refrain from asking him about Meryl, because I know it's gonna start a fight, and so...
Yeah, please hold off. I applaud your self-restraint.
Hawk has joined your party!
Yay!
For all the fucking good he does. He's been locked up for 3 years. His legs are mostly atrophied, but that's fine.
It's fine.
So he follows you out and he says, I actually dipped down to the Hero's Rest on one of my first days here. I thought it was only right to pay my respects to the man who saved my country. So I know where it is.
Great, you can lead the way.
He is hobbling a little bit, and Mayveris actually gives him a staff to lean on. Because, like, she's mostly a healer. She's not going to be doing a lot of offense, and you mostly need a staff for offense. So she gives Hawk her staff, and I'm going to note that she does not have her staff now. And Hawk takes it gratefully, and he says, I don't think I caught your names, by the way, as you are all climbing up slowly through the steps leading down to the oubliette.
I look at Sabre, and I'm like, yes, very interesting that nobody has introduced himself.
Feeling a lot of aggression from you right now.
Elian Bayard.
Elian, sounds Elysian. I'll try not to hold that against you, eh? He, like, thumps you on the shoulder.
Damn it. Oh, damn it. That makes me want to like him. You can see Sabre resisting with every core of his being. I look at him, like, briefly, and I say, Sabre.
He eyes you, and he doesn't say anything.
I just sort of roll my eyes like, that's about as much as you'll get out of him. I am Cassandra, by the way.
He says, Cassandra. I take you to be Talvashoth then, yes?
I did choose my own name after I left my Arvarad, yes.
He says, you know what, when you meet someone and you have some relation to the people or the history, and all you can think is shouting that thing at them, even without... I killed the Arishok. Sorry. I killed the last Arishok. It's as awkward. I have to say it now.
Okay.
It was a pitched battle in the middle of the... It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Congratulations?
He had great horns. Also, he almost cut me in half, so...
Yike.
You survived that. The new Arishok does not have horns.
Oh, that means something in your culture, doesn't it?
It's terrifying.
I'll take your word for it, he says. And I am Mayveris Tilani, May says, and may I say, I read Varric Tethris' Tale of the Champion, and he paints you as very dashing. Well, he exaggerates. And he'll be the first to tell you, he is prone to extravagant lies. I say that with fondness. Love Varric. Great guy. And he finally makes it up the steps. He's like, oh, my legs hurt a lot. Let's get whatever we have to do over with so I can lie down forever.
Good plan. Like this plan.
So it is I'm going to have you all roll stealth, actually, because now you are extremely conspicuous, because you are carrying with you literally a Weishaupt prisoner.
Right?
There's no way you can just get through this without sneaking.
Fuck.
Oh, May, no!
Oh, no!
Okay, that is a really, really bad roll.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
So here's how I think this goes. You are all doing your sneaking through the winding hallways of Weishaupt Fortress. And May is taking up the rear. Just in case Hawk falls over, she needs to be able to catch him. And she is so intent on, like, asking Hawk a whole bunch of... Under her breath, of course. She's like, so is it true in Tale of the Champion when he said that you... And, just this constant stream of questions, and Hawk is like, this is not the right time or place for this, but I'll try to indulge you because you're very nice, and you healed my magebane poisoning, so I like that. And she is so intent and caught up in these questions that she trips over a very large vase.
Oh, no.
And it clatters loudly to the floor. And luckily, the rest of you are just out of sight, just around a hallway, and the guards that sees only her. And she makes a very quick split-second decision, and she turns back to you, and she mouths, "Go," at you.
Oh, shit.
Oh, May.
Oh, no.
Cassandra, how you dealing with that?
Oh, boy. I'm just looking frantically, like frantically shaking my head, like, no, we can't leave you.
She mouths, "Go," again. And then abruptly she stands upright and she says, "Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you. I was so clumsy." And you can hear them helping her up.
I pull at Cassandra's arm and I'm like, don't worry, she's got this.
All right, I'll go.
If anyone is equipped to deal with a bunch of guards, it's Mayveris.
True.
She does seem very charming.
She is.
Exceedingly.
Only you could make that sound like a bad thing.
She's exceedingly charming. It fucking sucks. So Hawk guides you as best as his, admittedly, it's been 3 years and he's been a prisoner for most of those 3 years, but yeah, he's got a good head for this sort of thing. And he guides you down slowly, painfully. Every step looks like agony, but he's gritting his teeth and he's just bearing it because he realized this is important and you need to get clearly, if you're on a rescue mission, it's important, and he obviously knows something is deeply and profoundly wrong with the Grey Wardens.
Yep.
So whatever you're doing, it can only be important. And he eventually makes his way down toward there's a big archway and one of the lowest levels of the fortresses. And the archway is beautifully carved. Hero's Rest is written above it. There are 2 griffins on either side of the wording, carved in excruciating detail. There is silverite burnished into the words. It's obviously a place of great respect. You can smell incense coming up the stairs. And unfortunately, there are 2 honor guards posted just outside.
Excellent.
And Hawk presses his back against the wall and he says, "Well, any bright ideas?"
Sounds like we need a distraction.
Hawk says, "And I happen to be very good at distractions." And he summons up his mana, and he throws a small burst of fire across the hallway, and he catches a tapestry about 20 yards away on fire.
Great distraction.
And he's grinning. He's like, "Man, it feels good to cast magic again. Oh, I forgot how much I missed this." And it takes a little while for the smoke to build up, right? Because he could only throw a small burst of flame because he didn't want it. He didn't want the actual throwing of the flame to be what caught anyone's attention. But eventually the smoke does filter over to them. One of the guards, and then cranes their head around the corner and says, "Ah, fuck." And the other guard's like, "What the? Ah, god damn it!" And then they both hurry off.
Excellent. Let's get there now.
All right.
Hawk stumbles down after you. It is a long, wide marble hallway that descends into a cool, dark cellar. There are 7 large, actually huge, doors. 2 of them, the 2 closest to the left side, are black, just plain black marble, with no decorations. The other 5 are each intricately tiled with mosaics. Each one has a name written over the door. The one on the far right, the one closest to the door that you come down, reads Garahel, and anyone who cares to can make a historical lore check to see if they recognize the name Garahel.
Okay.
Garahel was the hero of the Exalted Age, the warden who ended the Fourth Blight. He slew the archdemon in Andoril, and there is a relief of him. And it's what surprises, actually, this will surprise you most, Sabre, as he's depicted as an elf. And that is very unusual because in most chantry iconography of elven heroes, they conveniently have their ears covered. You know what I mean? They do that shit constantly. But him, they've got the ears on display. He's blonde and he's got 2 daggers pointing up toward the neck of a massive dragon over him. Like, it's almost religious in nature. And there are a whole bunch of candles lit in front of the door like a pyre. And then, the door right next to Garahel's depicts another elf, this one with dark hair instead, wielding a bow instead of 2 knives. The bow is drawn back and pointed up at the dragon that is looming over him, and above it is Ren Clan Sabre.
Oh, fuck. That stops me short.
And you know what? It's actually a pretty good likeness of him. Clearly, whoever made this mosaic really took the time to study his body and make a faithful recreation of him.
Does he look older and different than, like, the last time I saw him?
Nope. He looks about 20 years old.
Oh, jeez. I think as we're walking, like, I've been hurrying to get to the door, and I just stopped dead, like, staring at it in silence.
Oh.
Hawk looks sideways at you and he says, I of course know the name Sabre. This can't be easy for you to see.
I sort of give, like, a whole body shake, and I say, it's one of the reasons we're here, and I push on forward.
So this doorway is massive, and it's, like, obviously, people don't generally go in to these doors. Like, they're supposed to be, you light the candles on the outside of the doors, and you pray on the outside of the doors, because inside, presumably, is where the actual body is kept.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would like everyone to roll perception seeing.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
So, Elian, you are the first to notice that there are wears, furrows in the floor in front of all but the last 2 doors. Like where the doors have been swung open so frequently that they've worn treads in the stone ground, which that means they had to have been opening them a lot. And it seems like these are the kind of doors that would not be opened a lot. Like, what possible reason could you have to go into a crypt this often?
Yeah.
That's concerning.
That's very concerning. I think Elian points this out to Sabre and to the others just as quietly as he can.
Hawk says, what's the worst that could happen? Because he loves tempting fate.
Death.
Right.
Death is the worst.
Yeah, I suppose technically it could be death.
Sorry, we forgot to mention we're in the middle of another blight right now. Please don't tempt fate.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. I was thinking, how could my day get worse?
Yeah, don't think that.
Apparently the answer is blight. We could be in a blight. All right, sorry, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut now.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
So, who wants to open the door?
I was gonna say, we gotta find out what's in there. I go to pull the door open.
Sabre, you pull the door open. You see a lot of things at once. You see a window very, very high in this 20-foot ceiling that is letting in angled sunlight. You see an open stone crypt over which is a spider web of blue-white magic. And you see your brother. He is breathing.
What the fuck?
Shit!
Fuck.
In fact, he is wheezing as though in pain. And as you draw a little bit closer, you can see that both of his wrists are shackled to the inside of this crypt, and his eyes are completely black.
Oh, fuck. I lose all rationality and I run forward and try to start smashing open the shades.
Nope. I'm
no.
gonna try to grab you.
I'm frantically fighting you. I'm like, let me go. That's my brother.
It may not be anymore. You don't know.
He's alive. You see him. He's breathing.
The sounds that he is making, it's this horrible labored wheeze. And it doesn't change at all in tempo or depth as you approach the crypt. But you can definitely get a very good look at his eyes. How close do you get to the crypt, Sabre, before they catch you?
I think probably like a couple feet away. Like, I'm quick and I'm strong.
You get within a couple feet of your brother, and he looks a little bit older, but not as old as he should look. He should look about 35 now. Instead, he looks maybe mid-20s, which is unnatural in a very strange way. And as soon as you get within a couple feet of him and you stare down at him, the black of his eyes, he blinks a couple times and it fades away. And he's staring up at you, and the wheezing slows a little bit, and you hear him say, Athalan,
Ren.
You got your Valasleen? And then his eyes go black again, and he starts to writhe inside the crypt.
Oh god.
Oh, no.
I'm like shouting Ren at the top of my Ren, oh my god, help him, you have to help him, come on.
So who wants to take a look at the magic?
Oh boy, I bet the mage should.
Yeah, I know nothing about magic.
You've also got Hawk with you.
Yeah.
Hawk, yeah.
Hawk can help. Go ahead and roll. I guess this would be arcane lore. Let's see if Hawk can help you. Hawk has a pretty good cunning score.
Yeah, I'll bet he does.
Wow.
Okay, alright, sure.
Wow.
So Hawk comes stumbling forward, and when he sees his eyes open, the first thing he says is, Maker's breath. Like, he is also pretty horrified by what he's seeing. Like, he's alive? And here I was complaining I'd been locked up for 3 years.
We have to help. How do we get him out of this? How do we free? I'm trying
He
to
puts a hand on your shoulder, to calm you down. He says, all right, take it easy. Let me take a look. And he goes over and he spreads his hand across this netting, this spider web of energy that's over top of his crypt. And he says, this is some sort of a containment spell. It's also got a lot of suppressive magic attached to it. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that this seems like a lot to keep one person contained, which leads me to assume that they must have a very good reason for all this extra magic.
Well, how do we destroy it? How do we get him out?
He says, I might be able to disrupt it. I'm not sure. You have to understand, Sabre, the last thing your brother did before they brought him here was kill an archdemon. Grey Wardens absorb the souls of old gods when they make their sacrifice. So, to be clear, here is the big decision of this episode.
Oh, God.
Oh,
You have 3 options. You can, 1, leave Ren where he is. 2, try to bust him out and take him with you. Or 3, you can mercy kill him, because he is clearly in a lot of agony.
And semi-possessed. Yep.
So it's not, a question for me. Obviously, Sabre is gonna fight anybody that doesn't choose option 2.
All of this magic, Sabre, means that he's dangerous. We can't.
Everyone in this room is dangerous. What do you mean we can't?
He has...
Weren't you considered dangerous?
This is different.
I cannot cause a blight, Sabre.
There already is a blight. How is this any different?
He has the soul of an archdemon in him. That's what's different.
He is my brother. I round on you.
Not anymore.
Hawk inserts himself between the two of you. He says, okay, let's not resort to blows this early. He says, okay, let's think of it as a matter of possession, right? Because fundamentally, that's what this is. He is possessed. There is a spirit that is not his inside of him alongside his regular spirit. He says, in most cases where the host is unwilling, the spirit has to fight for dominance. But maybe we can bring out more of Ren, the real Ren. If he's surrounded by things and people that he remembers, maybe we can give him a fighting chance. Maybe.
Oh, God.
We have to give him a fighting chance. Would any of you do any different from your family? I step up. I will take responsibility for him.
Elian is utterly speechless for probably the first time since you've met him. This could go so wrong, Sabre. So wrong.
Life goes wrong. I would do this for any of you.
That is extremely shocking information for Cassandra.
I thought you didn't like me.
Why?
Because we are comrades. We fight together. I am asking. He, gets on his knees. I am begging you for your help in this. He's the only member of my family left. He's the only member of my clan left. He is all I have. You cannot ask me to lose him, not when there's a chance.
Is there a chance? I look at Hawk like, how sure are we that we can even bring him back?
Hawk says, I don't know. Suffice it to say, this is not magic that I have ever encountered before.
I will put him down myself if it comes to it.
That may not be enough. Archdemon souls, they can jump to other blighted creatures.
I'm like shaking my head, like, no information you can give me is going to change my mind about this.
Oh, God.
Even if you did kill him, you'd just find another host.
Then we'd kill that one. Please. I have never asked for anything in my life. This is it. This is the thing. That is my brother. You saw him. He is in there. We can find a way.
I'm just like,
God, I wish anybody else was here.
Hawk, perhaps surprising Sabre more than anyone else, says, look, maybe it's for the best if we just find a way to get him out of here. And Hawk, Sabre, is on your
Very
side.
surprising.
Yeah, that, like, shocks me. I, like, look at him, I'm like, you can't be serious.
Listen, it's not a great idea, but you know what else is a bad idea? Having 5 archdemons locked up in the middle of fucking Weishaupt. That's also a very bad idea. I saw a flash of recognition in his face when he saw Sabre. Obviously, there is something of the hero still inside.
I am his brother, and Zevran. Zevran will be able to bring him back with me.
God, I hope you're right.
That's true. He has you, he has Zevran.
Yeah, I think pointing out that there are 5 right now here in one spot has kind of pushed Elian toward take him with us, because if we can't trust the Grey Wardens, they shouldn't have 5.
Fine. I don't agree with this, but all of you seem to be set on it, so let's do this.
Hawk says, you should talk to him. Before I dispel the magic holding him, you should talk to him as much as you can. Try to bring him back.
I'm sort of like shaking all over, but I say yes, absolutely. And I go up to the side of the crypt.
His eyes are back to a flat sheet of black. And he's wheezing and writhing against the manacles that are holding him. Perhaps even more alarming than that is around his wrists where the manacles are held. Like, it's been 15 years he's been locked up.
Oh, Jesus.
The skin underneath the manacles is, like, cracked and white gray. There are signs of old blood running down his nose and out of his mouth. And it does not take a healer to diagnose that he is in a lot of pain.
Jesus. I'm like looking at him and I'm like, Ren, can you hear me?
It takes a little while. The black in his eyes swims in and out. And eventually, the natural gold of his eyes comes through for a moment, and he stares up at you. What do you say to your brother?
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Elian puts a hand on your shoulder and just prompts you gently. Talk to him, tell him stories from when you were young.
Oh, God, Ren, you son of a bitch.
Not quite what I had in mind.
He gasps out, she was your mother too.
I like make to punch him and then realize it's a bad idea. I thought you were dead, you bastard.
He says, Aurelin, hurts a lot. How long has it been?
It's been 15 years, Ren.
What?
It's been a long time.
He doubles over, and the magic forces him back down flat. He says, there's something inside of me, I can feel it!
I'm here. I'm right here.
Creators preserve me, it hurts so much. And Hawk says, just keep talking to him. And he starts to dispel the spiderweb of magic.
Ren, stay with me. Stay with me. I met Zevran. Did I tell you that?
Yes, tell him about Zevran. Yes.
Venon. Venon is the elven word for heart. It's a term of affection that you only give to someone who you intend to spend the rest of your life with. if he gave Zevran the affectation of a non, he must have been deeply in love with him.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Yes. He's a very handsome man. You did well.
I saw him first, you bastard.
He told me some really upsetting stories about your sex life.
Oh, please say he didn't mention Isabella!
Is this the woman on the pirate ship?
He laughs, but the laugh is cut through with a very pained scream.
We're gonna get you home? Well, not home. We're gonna take you to Tevinter. I know that doesn't sound good.
Tevinter?
We're with an organization called the Lucerne. We're trying to...
It's where Zevran is.
Yeah.
You'll see Zevran again.
He's waiting for you.
He sits there wheezing, and slowly, Hawk finally manages to dispel the magic over the top of his crypt. It's sort of like dragging a heavy blanket away from a bed, but eventually the blue netting vanishes, and Hawk says, "We need to get the manacles off him too, come on."
Yeah, that's what I got, is fire. So that's what I will do.
You can take one manacle, Hawk will take the other. You don't need to... you avoid the actual risk, because there's fucking enough damage on his arms. So you just get the chains, is what Hawk goes for, just melt the chains off, to at least free him.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Okay, that's damn.
So Cassandra, with Hawk's help, you manage to melt the shackles midway between where they're attached to the side of the crypt and where they're attached to his wrist. And hurriedly, Hawk helps him sit upright, and he asks, "Can you walk?"
Hey friends, Tessa here. If you're desperate to hear the next episode, chances are good that you can by joining our Discord server. We post links to all episodes in pre-release, and you can even chat with us and listen live as we record. Join us by going to bit.ly/CFCDiscord. For more information on the show, character biographies, and links to social media, head to our website, critfail.club or critfailclub.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Critfail Club does not advertise at all, so if you like what you hear, tell a friend who might also like it, make a post on social media about it, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Full episodes are available on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/CFC channel, or wherever you get your podcasts.